Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into a really fascinating sermon from Pastor Sung No over at Praise Presbyterian Church.
Yeah, it's based on Jacob's story, his unique path to, well, prosperity.
Exactly. And our mission here is to pull out some powerful insights from this ancient text, see how it offers comfort, maybe some encouragement, and definitely a challenge for you, especially navigating, the world today.
It's not just some old story. Pastor No frames it as a kind of super common sense approach to faith.
Super common sense. I like that. Okay, so let's unpack this. It starts with Jacob in a pretty tough spot, right? Working for his uncle Laban.
Oh, incredibly tough. Laban cheated him for 14 years, changed his wages, 10 times?
Yeah.
Just constantly moving the goalposts.
Right. So Jacob finally says, okay, new deal. He proposes he'll only take the spotted, striped, or black animals born from now on. Seems specific.
Very specific. And Laban agrees, probably thinking it's a great deal for him. But then, almost immediately, he goes and removes all the existing animals like that from the flock.
Sneaky. So Jacob's left with only the plain white ones. He's starting from absolute zero, basically.
Pretty much. And what's fascinating, really, is what Jacob does next. It's peculiar. He takes branches, peels strips in them to make patterns, white streaks.
Okay.
And he puts these peeled branches in the watering troughs, right in front of the stronger animals when they're mating.
It sounds like folk magic or superstition, doesn't it? Not exactly scientific breeding.
To our modern ears, absolutely. But here's the kicker. Despite the crazy odds, despite this really strange method, Jacob becomes incredibly wealthy. Huge flocks, servants, camels, the works.
It defies logic, and that's where it gets really interesting looking back. People have tried to figure this out for centuries.
Yeah, you see all sorts of interpretations. Some look for some forgotten genetic principle. Others just say it was superstition. It didn't actually do anything.
And theologians like Calvin even suggested maybe it was a God-given instruction, sort of like the bronze snake Moses lifted up. Faith was the key there, not the snake itself.
Right. But focusing too much on how it worked, the mechanics of it, kind of misses the main point of the sermon. Which is, if you connect it all up, the core message is simple. Regardless of the method, weird branches, superstition, science, whatever the ultimate truth is, God did it.
Okay.
It wasn't Jacob's clever trick or how hard he works or even his faith acting alone. It was God being faithful. Faithful to the promise he made to Jacob way back at Bethel.
That promise of blessing and descendants.
Exactly. And that's the super common sense. It's God's logic. It might look strange to us outside our normal cause and effect thinking, but from his perspective, it makes perfect sense. He's fulfilling his word.
So what does this super common sense mean for us? For you listening right now, because we fall into similar traps, don't we?
All the time. We treat faith like a transaction, like prayer is a button we push for results. Or belief is a contract. I believe, so God owes me blessing.
Or if I serve enough, if I give enough, maybe if I fast, then God has to answer my prayer this specific way.
Yeah.
That kind of thinking.
Yeah, that cause and effect trap. But super common sense flips that. True faith actions, like fasting or praying, they aren't about twisting God's arm.
What are they then?
They're more about confessing our limits, saying, God, I can't do this on my own. I need your power. Our efforts matter. Sure, they show our trust, our commitment, but the actual results, the provision, that's all grace.
That feels liberating, especially, I think, for younger people today facing just intense pressure.
Absolutely. Pressure to succeed financially, get the best education, provide for family. It's huge. And it can really push you into that my effort guarantees my outcome mindset.
But Jacob's story says, maybe not. You can work incredibly hard, pour everything into it, like Jacob did.
And God still brings the increase in his own time, in his own way, often in ways that make no logical sense to us.
So it challenges that whole societal idea of just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, individual merit above all.
It does. A biblical worldview says, yes, effort is important, stewardship is vital.
Yeah.
But God's grace and his sovereign plan, his providence, are the foundation, the ultimate outcome that rests with him.
That's huge when you're facing, say, economic uncertainty. Do your best, work hard, but then trust. Trust God provides even in mysterious ways.
And it reframes legacy too.
Yeah.
The best thing we can leave behind isn't just wealth or status. It's that deep lived out conviction. God keeps his promises.
Well,
Always.
that also helps within communities, right? Stops the comparison game. We can genuinely celebrate when God blesses someone else because we trust he has a unique plan for us, too. Even in struggles, we support each other in that faith.
And this all points to the ultimate super common sense promise, doesn't it?
Which is?
Salvation through Jesus Christ. It's the prime example. We don't earn it. Our good deeds, our efforts, they don't buy it.
It's purely grace, received through faith in what he did on the cross.
Exactly. That's God declaring definitively, I am on your side. Like Romans 8 says, if God is for us, who can be against us? He gave his own son. Surely he'll give us all things alongside him. It's the ultimate proof of his faithfulness.
Okay, so boiling it down, this super common sense, faith calls us to a few things. First, really believe God's promises. He is faithful.
Second, give your absolute best effort, not to earn anything, but as your act of faith, your response to his goodness.
Third, genuinely entrust the results to God. His timing, his methods, they're perfect, even when we don't understand them.
Fourth, live with gratitude. Recognize it's all grace, all his gift.
And finally, pass this on. Pass on this trust, this super common sense, to the next generation.
That's the legacy.
So here's a final thought. You might be in a situation right now that feels deeply unfair, like Jacob with Laban. You feel wronged, maybe cheated. The call is, work your hardest, be diligent, be faithful in your part, but then truly let go of the burden of the outcome. That ultimate provision, that fulfillment, that's God's responsibility, not yours. Trust his super common sense.